Welcome to Onukube TV. Today we want to discuss the Aro and Igbo civilization. When I was growing up as a boy, my grandmother used to tell me stories about the Aro and the power they had in the olden days. Yes, you cannot talk about the Igbo civilization without first mentioning the Aro. In most Igbo communities we have today, and in the present day, Imo, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, even the rivers, Benue, Delta, Kogi, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, many communities, so to say, were founded by the Aros because they were travelers. And not just as a travelers, they were merchants, business-minded. And the civilization came in both ways, negative and the positive, because during the slave trade era, it was a business of the Aro. Yes, and they used their Igbopeople those days, and this Igbopeople is what the white man called long juju. Long juju is the Igbopeople. So the Aro traders, they focused on palm oil, and they fought the white man. Yes, they really fought the white men because they were like their competitors in palm oil industry, and the Aro were so good in business. So when you read about Igbo civilization, the first thing you will hear is the Aro. That is the first. Aro is the first thing you hear about Igbo civilization. So there's no way you can talk about the Igbo history without the Aro. Like I said, they made both positive and negative impacts in Igbo history. Now, if you read most of the Igbo books or novels published in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and early 80s, you must have seen Igbopeople mentioned severally in those books. So the Aro used the deity to fight the colonial masters. Then they use their warriors from Abireba and Ohafia. There is Abireba to fight these people. Abireba, yes, that is, we have strong Ohafia warriors, were the major warriors the Aro used to wage war against the colonial masters. Like I said, they were competitors, and the white man wanted Aro out of the business of palm oil, but the Aro were very strong people. So they had their warriors well prepared, the Ohafia warriors. They fought them, and the British used their own folks called West African frontiers. So West African frontiers were the British soldiers that they used to fight or to conquer any territory they wanted to. So there was a serious fight. There was a serious war between the British, the colonists, and the Aro people that lasted for several years. So because of the presence of Igbopeople, Aro was seen as holy land of Igbo people. So most Igbo communities, or most people from Igbo communities, back then, they always go to Aro to consult the Chukwu. So they always say Kaije na be Chukwu through the Igbopeople. So then the British thought that Aro was both the economic headquarters of Igbo land because of their flourishing trade in palm oil and human trade, slave trade. So if a boy is stubborn, or a family can decide to sell a boy to an Aro merchant. So secondly, the British also thought that the Aro was the military base of the Igbo because of the military strength of the Abireba warriors and Ohafia, that the Aro used to wage war against their enemies. So the British called the Igbopeople long juju. Long juju. The British also thought that Aro was the political headquarters of Igbo. Unknown to them, they were oblivious of the fact that Igbo had no king, Igbo Nweze. So for the British to conquer Aro, to destroy that Aro strength. They did so through their continental force known as West African Frontier Force. That was what they used to conquer the Aro. So for you to discuss Igbo history, you must first discuss the Aro, because Aro complements Igbo history. So they were very powerful people in the past. So back then, the Aro, they lived everywhere because, like I said, they were business minded. They were business minded people, and basically business back then was slave trade. So they were the real merchant of slave trade. But slave trade was not only the business of the Aro as some portrayed. They were into palm oil. Not just palm oil, they were into several businesses in the olden days. This was portrayed in a book called Omenoko, written by Peter Nwanna, published in 1933. That is the first ever written Igbo published novel. So it indicates the industriousness of an Aro man or Aro people. Yes, they are hardworking, they are dogged. And also show the Igbo people how dogged they are, how they can survive wherever they find themselves. Another book that shows this is Ijodmo Dujere. The protagonist was an Aro man portrayed in the book, how industrious and hardworking they were. So when I grew up, I decided to see for myself. I was no longer interested in just what I read or what I heard. I wanted to see for myself. So that day, I left through Omahia. I passed through Bende, some part of Ini in Akwa Ibom State before I got to Arochukwu. The first place I went to was Atani Arochukwu. So this very picture, it was early morning. I was taking the picture in front of a town hall, a village town hall. So when some elders came and approached me, they were asking me why I was taking the pictures. So they were having a meetings. They dressed in the native traditional attire. They were doing carry out one or two rituals there. I was observing the culture. I told them that I love what they're doing. So from there, I decided to visit places. I saw houses built in the olden days with clear soil. I loved what I saw. These houses were upstairs. They had step. It was built around. They were built around that early 19th century or thereabouts. And I went to different places. I saw the way they greet. Presently, the Arab people do not joke with their culture in form of native greetings, dressings, and cultural practices. Also, I was hearing things like Mwamazi, Ndewo, Elola. So I saw old people dressing with their aqua george. I was seeing with buildings. Some of them were built with bricks and also clay soil. So some of these houses were in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. Still strong, You can see them in these pictures. They are still very strong houses, Very, very, very strong houses. So the Aro people presently, they are still hardworking people. And there's something I noticed about the Aro. They live in proximity with the Akwa Ibom people. Yes, like if it comes to Arochukwu now, you get places like Arochukwu. These people were the Bibio. They lived in proximity with them. And some parts also live in proximity with the people of Efik. That is basically if you are going through Ohafia. So if you want to get to Arochukwu now, there are two ways you can go there. Just as the Igbo people used to say, there is no route to Arochukwu that is closed. If you are going through Omahia, you spend some hours before you get to Arochukwu. And if you are going through Ohafia, you also spend some time before you get to Arochukwu. So the Arab people were very strong people in olden days. You cannot talk about Igbo civilization without the Aro. So it's a beautiful place and I enjoy going there. So I love the fact that I was able to feed my curiosity the places my grandmother used to tell me, the places I've read from books about the Igbo history, about the Igbo literature too. So I'm able to go there myself, and I saw a lot of things. So this any picture is a symbol. It has a significant historical backing, you know. So the day I was taking the picture, like I said earlier, some elders approached me and wanted to stop me from doing so, and I wanted to know why. I wanted to inquire why. So they thought I was snapping them. My joy is being able to visit Arochukwu, visit some places, and take some pictures. So seriously, there is no Igbo history without the Aro people. It is impossible, because most Igbo communities today are founded by the Aro. Subscribe to the channel. Onukube.